Like she offered the soldier a blowjob.
Yeah, like a final blowjob. I mean, of course it would have worked. I would have taken it. If I were a Nazi, I would have taken it.
That's why you are fated to be a soldier, never a female.
Exactly. I'm highly competent. Hi, and welcome to a new edition of Movie Time. And today we have been watching this movie called Iron Sky. It was released in the year 2012 and was directed by Timo Vuorensola, which I hope I pronounce correctly.
I think it's close enough.
It's close enough, and that's how we work in this podcast. The budget was around 7 million euros, and the cashed in around $8 million. You have to do the math yourself if they...
Because they didn't do it on their side, so
Exactly. I don't know if they made any profit or they just went even out.
I think they wanted it to sound more profitable than it was.
Yeah, exactly. That you should use dollars. I think we should start with just describing the storyline in short, because when we're talking about the characters, we're going to talk.
You have to understand the overarching plot.
Yeah, and also where we find the characters.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about this first. What is the storyline?
So it starts by we see two astronauts on the moon, and then pretty much right away there come Nazis from basically nowhere and shoots one of the guys and captures the other one. That's how it starts.
Yeah, because we find out that the Nazis escaped from Earth in 1945, and then they made a big base on the moon, and on the dark side of the moon, and have been staying there since, basically.
Also, this movie takes place in 2018, I think.
Yeah. So it's the future from this movie's perspective when it was released.
Yeah.
But the fun thing is it's only 6 years in the future.
Exactly. They could have gone with anything like into the 2020s, but 2018 sounds enough. Yeah. So they are hidden on the backside of the moon, which for me is defining all kind of logic, because I think it should have been seen based on how effing big it is. It's really big. The building sites, the building at all.
The mines.
Yeah, everything's super big, and they're mining helium-free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a good thing for energy.
But it's one of those movies that it's not trying to be overly serious. I think I am at least able to forgive some of these logical errors.
Yeah, this is a typical parody.
Yeah.
They are really like hitting around with
Because
themselves.
they knew very well that it was logical errors.
Yeah,
Fine with
exactly.
it.
They just went on with it. So there are some plot holes, but who cares, right?
Yeah.
Let's move on to the characters. We have this first character, which I think is the main character. Not everyone here agrees.
I agree.
He's the black guy who turns out to be an albino later on. We'll get to that, but...
What we should mention about him too is that after the astronaut has been captured and brought to the Nazi base, they remove his helmet, and the Nazis realize that he's black.
Yeah.
And they react.
They think they're joking.
Exactly. He's not Irish.
No.
Not at all. I mean, from a Nazi perspective, we're okay with it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Okay, so he's captured and he's brought into this main building, and he's getting interrogated by this new this guy who's supposed to be the new Führer, Mr. Adler. We will talk about him later. But what do you think about James as a character?
He's fine.
He acts in a way. He has like a very stereotypical black guy when he appears, and he has a pretty interesting story arc with things that happen to him.
Yeah. Why do you think they chose to make him this over-the-top black guy?
I think mostly because of the humor effect, because now the Nazis, they have never really seen a black man, turns out, and now they're beating this guy who's not only a black guy, he's like acting like a very stereotypical one, and they think that behavior is like pretty alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls some of the Nazis whitey, even.
Yeah, he should have get killed right in the beginning, I think. But he managed to survive with the dumbest move I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but moving on, we have this other character. She's a female main character, according to Adam.
Yeah.
Her name is Renate.
I think she's the main character of the movie.
Can I ask why?
Because looking at the screen time she gets and how her arc develops, I think that she is more the focus of the movie.
Yeah. Well,
She
maybe it's more of an ensemble cast.
Yeah, I mean the other one needs the other one. So it's not essentially this one person going through the entire story. I mean, she gets a lot of screen time, so I can get why you think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course you can say that there are many main characters, but I think that if I had to pick only one, I would say that she's the main one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's basically a trio of main characters to me. It's like her, the black guy, astronaut, and the main bad guy, Klaus. I think those three.
It's
are
mostly
the big-
focused on them three. Yeah.
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 But where do we first meet this Renate?
She's in a classroom in the Nazi base, teaching some kids. She's teaching them English because apparently they need that when they take over the world. And she talks about how great the Nazis are and say that they stand for kindness even.
That I didn't really get because they have lost track of what the Nazi meant in the 40s, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
at least the younger generations.
Because
Yeah, but also her. She didn't know what
Yeah,
it
but
was.
she's part of the younger generation. I mean,
Yeah.
the old Führer guy. I think he knows what's going on.
Yeah, because she thought she was teaching them something good.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That Hitler was a nice guy.
She has a kind heart, and you can tell that she actually wants like love and peace or whatever she teaches. So,
But that's the thing about like cults and bad organizations like the Nazis. It's like they're born into it, so they don't know the difference.
yeah.
Did they understand why they were living on the moon?
I
Did
don't
that
know.
even come up?
No, but they didn't know much else really, I think.
I mean, it seems like a fair question to ask. Why
Yeah.
are we not living on Earth like everyone else?
they don't actually say that. I think they only say that they came here in 1945.
Yeah, they only said that, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing to...
And yeah, I want to mention too, in her class, she shows a short clip from Charlie Chaplin's movie, The Dictator, a 10-minute clip, and says that it shows how Charlie Chaplin wants the Nazis to rule the world. But
Yeah, this is a nice little detail, I think, because that's the typical propaganda thing that they
Yeah,
use.
because they think it's the whole thing, but it's heavily censored, so they don't know the real deal.
Exactly, the real movie is like 1.5 hours or something.
I think it's 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
more than
really
2
long.
hours.
It's much longer than 10 minutes at least.
It's really long, and of course they only choose like the good parts to show to the kids.
Yes. That paints the Führer in a good light, basically.
But I don't get why they wanted to teach them English, because if you have ever met a German guy, not today I would say, I think they're more open to learn English now, but back in the days, German was like the one language.
But
I think-
maybe they think that since they got defeated in the Second World War and then went up to the moon, they would figure that most people will speak English.
Yeah, maybe
Because the
they...
Americans and the
I
British
think
won.
also it's related to what we discussed before, that their teachings have become a bit warped from the original Nazi teachings. I think that she sees herself more... The Nazis are less of warmongers and more of like ambassadors of peace. So I think that she really wants them to go down and do like diplomacy.
Yeah, she probably thinks they are gonna do that.
Yeah.
She seems to really believe that they are good.
Yeah. And with that said, let's move on to the third character, who is the main villain, I would say. Klaus Adler.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be the new Führer. So let's talk about him, but do you think that he is aware of what the Nazis used to do?
I think he's aware that they are going down there to actually take over the world, at least. Not diplomacy.
He seems like he wants a war no matter what.
Yeah.
He doesn't even care if there is an actual Führer, Moon Führer, when they here on the moon base. He is the next in line to be the Führer when
Yeah.
he dies. But the old guy, I feel like he's more. He could be 50-50 if he wants to start a war or if he wants to negotiate peace.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He feels more grounded than Klaus does.
He is a little more careful because Klaus complains about this at the beginning also that
He's
like
too
the
soft.
current Moonfire is too soft, and he's not willing to make efforts to start the invasion.
Okay, I missed
This
that.
is, I think that Klaus actually believes the cause and don't think the Nazis are evil, really, but he definitely wants to go down there to take over and start a big war.
Yeah, it feels like he also undermines the new Führer constantly. I don't remember his name, but instead of saying Heil, whatever his name is, he still yells Heil Hitler.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's
He had like a real long last name.
like
Really German.
And whenever someone says Heil Hitler, the Führer gets pissed.
Yeah, exactly. And then it says it's Heil and whatever his last name was.
Käsebanana. or
Yeah, exactly.
And
Something like that.
sometimes they say Sieg Heil, just, and they should always do that because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Klaus seems like he's not content with being the next Führer. He wants to be the next Hitler, I feel like.
Yeah, he's more of a Hitler persona, I would say. He has more of those characteristics that Hitler has. He's not even close to how he like talk and how he moves or his speeches, but he's a tough guy. And he wants to be some sort of ruler.
Yeah.
That is his authority. He's signaling that, I would say. But I think I think he's a cool villain. I really liked him.
He's pretty interesting.
I had
a
no
good
problem
character.
with him at all. I
The
thought,
character is good. I don't like the actor so much, but we're getting into that later,
okay,
right?
yeah. No, I had no problem with him at all, actually. I thought he was really good. But should we move on with the storyline? Because then we move on to Earth in a bit. If we move on here, we would say that they are going to mission to Earth. Renate, Washington, and Klaus. Yeah, those three move in some sort of UFO that the Nazis built.
We should clarify that the Nazi scientists finds Washington's smartphone and realize that this smartphone can
Right.
pretty much power up the entire German fortress or whatever.
Fleet.
And we should mention when they go to Earth, Washington has been injected with some albino liquid, so he's white at this point.
Yeah.
Kinda. at
Yeah,
least.
he's supposed to be white in the Mori.
Yeah.
So the reason why they're going is because Adler tells the Moonfear that if you send me to Earth, I can bring back more of these smartphones, and with those we can imagine what we can do with all that power. And so that's where we're going.
Yes.
Yeah, they go to Earth to find computers in form of a phone, as far as they know.
Yeah.
But they find something else instead.
But-
Equally good, I'd say. Well, while we're at Earth, Klaus finds this girl called Vivian. And the reason that he wants to get to her is because he wants to get to the president. And she is her, I think she's some sort of campaign
Yeah,
leader.
she's like some kind of marketing
campaign manager or
Something like that. So she has full access to the president.
Yes.
Which seems like a logical strategy thing to do, is to grab her and kidnap her and try to get her president, which they do. Vivian gets like so into Klaus.
At first, she thinks it's an act.
Yeah,
that
I
they're
can get
kinda
that.
Nazis, because no one would believe that there are Nazis on the moon or whatever.
I can get that. What do you think of Vivian? I think she's a really
Strong personality.
She's a strong woman.
She's fiery.
So fiery that also seems like a parody. Actually.
I kind of thought she was pretty hot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think she did her character really well.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you you both like her and kind of hate her at the same time.
No, I don't agree. I really like
I also
her.
want to mention that she
Yeah,
has...
but I hate her in a good way. I
Okay.
mean, like she's supposed to be.
Okay, so
the-
you mean her acting or like involvement
her
with the character?
Her
makes
character is kind of disgusting, but she makes it fun and cool.
Yeah, I see your point. The character is supposed to be disgusting.
We should also mention that there is this scene that's a parody of... you know that German movie, the one with Hitler?
Yeah, the Untergang.
Yeah, where she likes yells at her staff. The one...
Yeah.
It's like a common meme movie, the one where Hitler sits at his desk and he's furious, removes his glasses, then he starts to yell at everyone.
Yeah, I think that's the first scene people think of when they hear the Untergang. It's when he's in the bunker or a basement or whatever. And
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, it was a nice detail. Really nice, actually. Okay, so they kidnap her, and she brings them to the president.
Yes, which the character I think is only called Mrs. President in the movie, but it's clearly supposed to be Sarah Palin.
Yeah, I mean it's super clear that it's Sarah Palin. Why didn't you just want to call her that?
Maybe some kind of rights thing, or they don't want to get sued.
Yeah, maybe they could get sued for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you know Sarah Palin, which we don't, but since I only know her through
The porn parodies.
exactly. But that she seems to be a vengeful person.
Yeah.
I think I would have been quite
She
withdrawn with that.
She seems like a person that would sue.
Yeah, she would be pissed. Because, I mean, the parody on her isn't that bad. I mean not her as a person, but I mean as a character, she's fun.
Yeah.
She's just like, she wants to be re-elected. And she wants to be re-elected at any price. She can start a war, she can like send people to the moon without any reason. And
They're pretty clear right from the start that the only reason they send people to the moon is because they want to show off a black man on the moon.
Yeah.
Seems like a good PR move.
thought that was cool.
Yeah, and they even admit that openly in the UN to the others. Yeah, the only reason we did that was because the president won't be re-elected.
That I thought was weird. Why would they mention that for the UN leaders?
I don't know.
Yeah, but the UN leaders are pretty fun. All of them.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
I mean,
Especially in North Korea.
I mean, the whole thing, you would think that this is mostly a parody on Nazis from Germany, but they actually make the United States, they make a lot of fun of those, but then in the world leader UN room, like all the world leaders gets made fun of at some points. And
You
I
could
really
say
like
that if you look at it in a broad perspective, it's a parody of politics in general.
that. Yes.
yeah, exactly, like how to deal with
Even if the
worldly situations.
Even if the main focus is Nazism and the Americans, but
I mean, that's just a side story, right? No, but I felt she was a good character, and I think she makes sense. I mean, they really needed her in order to progress.
Yeah.
Then I have written here the Moon Führer, but I think we mentioned him, right? There was that guy we can't remember with that uber long last name.
It's not. The title kind of says it all. He's the Moon Führer.
Yeah, and with the characters done, we should move on with the storyline. And I mean,
Should we say that we enter spoiler territory, or does that matter?
I mean, I don't think it matters because I think we are spoiled pretty much.
And we haven't gone into much beyond that they actually go to Earth. But
yeah, but why would you listen to this if you don't want to know what happens?
You're
Exactly.
saying, let's say spoilers just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we say spoilers. I'm going to edit that away.
You do that.
Okay, so they have been talking to the president, and they have found out that these two Germans, Klaus and Renate, seems to be good campaign leaders. So without knowing what they really stand for, they write script for Sarah Palin, the president.
It's very much inspired by Hitler's speech.
Yeah, exactly,
from the
which is
30s.
funny. She doesn't realize it, and also, you know, when they published those posters, they used a font that was typical during the Second World War for the Germans.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize that, of course. And it works.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because she's literally using the Nazi propaganda to get re-elected.
Exactly, and it works again.
What happens on Klausen is that he gets confronted by the moonfield that comes down, and he's pissed about why Klaus is like doing this.
Yeah, he's on the posters with the American president and stuff.
Yeah, and he was saying, I'm gonna bring back some smartphones and I'll be back, okay? And then he's totally not doing that, so Moonfear is pissed.
Yeah, exactly. So he is getting it on, Klaus, with Vivian, and without noticing, which is a bit strange, but the Moonfuhrer, the real one, is in the room with like 5 or 6 guards, and he is of course pissed because he seems to be America friendly, which of course is not the thing you should do if you are a Nazi, because they are the enemies, of course.
Yes.
So he gets pissed, and they start shooting. And first we thought that they killed Vivian, but did we really? No, I didn't think so either. I didn't expect her to say what she did as a reason to get out of the situation.
Yeah, like she offered the soldier a blowjob.
Yeah, like a final blowjob. I mean, of course it would have worked. I would have taken it. If I were a Nazi, I would have taken it.
That's why you are fated to be a soldier, never a female.
Exactly. I'm highly competent. Yeah, so they get out of the situation with that, and she blasts all the guards and also the Moonfuhrer.
This is one of those typical things in the movies when the bad guys are really bad at aiming and shooting people.
But again, this is a parody, so I don't mind so much in this movie.
No.
And at the same time as this happens, Renate has met James again, and Renate starts to realize that maybe the Nazis actually are the bad guys, so she's having second thoughts about them.
Yeah,
so she turns on them.
And they actually saw the entire movie, The Dictator.
Yeah.
And also they meet some Nazis on the street, like Earth Nazis, the real
like
ones.
The new Nazis.
Yeah. And she sees what dicks they really
Do Nazis today use swastika on a red?
I don't think they do it in the
maybe like tattoos and stuff.
I don't think they really use that.
The extreme ones have it on their meetings and stuff, I think.
To me,
just posters.
To me, it's just like they're another biker gang.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think they walk around with those things on their arm.
It seems like overdoing it. It's like, I want to really show you that I'm a Nazi.
It seems that that would just give them problems.
Yeah. I think it's like some sort of crime as well. I don't know. It's not illegal in Sweden to show it, the swastika, but
I'm not
to
sure.
parade around with it, I would say would be some sort of like crime.
It would probably count as some kind of hate crime.
Yeah, exactly, hate crime. Exactly, I would say so.
Yeah, but I don't know about the loss in America.
I would say it's about the same. I mean, you're not even allowed to drink in public.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
side note.
What happens then is that Klaus, he becomes the new Führer, and he returns to the moon base to prepare for the invasion. And meanwhile, James and Renate, they go back to the old spaceship they used to come to Earth with, and they also go back to the moon because they want to stop the invasion.
Yes, but the invasion, or a small part of the invasion, happened with the old Führer. He ordered some airships, airships.
They have already started.
They have already started like small scale, but not like
Klaus is going back to pick up the big guns, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the invasion, at first, the world leaders don't know who it is. And then the American president asks, and the North Korea guy stands up and says, "Oh yeah, that's ours. Our leader built it himself." And then everyone just laughs at him and say like, "Please stop joking and sit down."
He looks so happy when he says it. Our leader built it himself.
And he looks devastated when they laugh and tell him to sit down.
North Korea, sit down. Poor North Korea. That's why the World War III will start with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they go to the moon and they want to use this. I think it's some sort of tablet that he had gotten on Earth instead of a phone.
Some iPad stuff.
Yeah, something like
whatever.
that. Yeah, and he's going to use it to start up this entire machine, and it's really big.
And for some reason, Klaus ditched Vivian before because he didn't care about her. So she kind of tells the American president about everything, and she all of a sudden becomes an admiral on a spaceship or something.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
I think
apparent reason.
I think that's because they don't have any more characters.
Yes.
But also because the president, as like her minister of defense, I think it was, like, who should we send? And he's like, I don't know, send her.
Yeah, he didn't care that
He
much.
didn't really want to get involved.
But I think he also said that it was because he managed to dodge bullets from a couple of Nazi soldiers.
Which is an amazing reason.
Yeah, it actually is a good
Yeah,
reason.
it's an amazing reason that Nazis are bad at shooting.
Political campaign manager becomes space admiral on
Because-
a nuke ship.
Because Nazis can shoot.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
really rises in the degrees.
It seems really weird. And she... she really wants to kill Klaus, apparently.
Yeah, but so Klaus starts up this huge-ass
Machine.
which...
Turns out the moon base itself is an enormous spaceship.
Yeah, the entire thing was one.
Yeah, the entire moon base lifted from the moon
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it turned out to be a gigantic
They're really destroying the moon.
Yes.
They are, yeah. And at this point, it also turned out like that almost every single country in the UN had their own like battleships in space,
Yeah.
except Finland.
Because they had signed a peace treaty that they wouldn't build like space warships.
Yeah, but that was actually pretty funny because in the beginning of this movie, you can see those two guys ascending to the moon, and they have this old crappy thing from the 70s or something. And now, since it's a war, they have this super advanced technical
nuke shooting machine.
Exactly, spaceships, and they can just go to the moon without any problem.
But it might be because they did it just to send a black guy to the moon in the beginning. They probably didn't care much.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I think it's supposed to look like they don't have the technology.
Yeah, exactly. They want to keep technology a secret from the other countries.
so we have. You might think that we have it in real life too.
Probably.
Yeah. Obviously, we do
I'm
those
sure
types.
America has some kind of nuke ship up there.
Oh, we all do, except Finland.
Even Sweden.
I don't think we have to. I don't think we can nuke anything.
But Sweden actually builds pretty impressive weaponry for other countries to fight with, basically.
Yeah.
Are you trying to sell it through the podcast?
Yes.
Saudi Arabia, if you're listening, we're selling.
Contact Sweden.
Exactly.
I hope we get a cut.
5% is enough. Okay, so he starts up this machine and he's going to use it to destroy the Earth, right?
Yeah.
Or at least conquer it.
Pretty much destroy it.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? What's to conquer if you destroy it?
It's never really clear how, if they intend to destroy it or conquer it, because if they intend to conquer Earth, I really don't think they have the manpower or the technology needed.
I think it feels more like he just wants to kill everyone else.
It kind of seems like that.
It's such a weird thing to do. Why do you want to kill everyone? I mean, I always bring him up when I'm talking about these kind of things, but I think Thanos, he's an awesome villain because he has like a reasonable idea to do this.
Yeah.
And every other villain is always like, I'm going to conquer the world. Okay, why? I don't know. Seems like a good thing to do. I mean, do you know the responsibility to be the leader of the world? Seems like a hard thing to do. Good paycheck, perhaps. Different story. Okay, so and he gets shoot down, right? Nothing really happens. I mean, he gets shoot down.
Well, I mean, Renate and James kind of stop it from the inside, each on their own end. So
Renate fights Klaus as well.
But I thought he gets shoot down, or was it the albino black guy who?
yeah, he removed the iPad from the engine, so it lost power, so it crashed.
Right.
Yes. And
Jesus
she was
Christ.
fighting with Klaus.
and kill him in the most spectacular way.
Yes, he got stabbed in the forehead with a shoe.
Yeah, but also right before she had this awesome idea that if I only get Klaus to do like this
to heil at
yeah.
the exact right position, he will get electrocuted by a broken light bulb.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Perfect.
I mean, it worked. So
it worked actually. Yes.
We are apparently the stupid one for doubting her.
How did we see that one coming?
Yeah, we didn't. Well,
no, the whole thing crashed. James Washington, the albino black guy, gets shoot out through a escape pod. Yeah, exactly. And is everything good now? Everything's fine. The Nazis is beaten.
Yeah, and James, he finds this like things that reverses the albino effect, so it becomes black again.
Yeah.
De-albinonism or whatever it was called.
And also, everyone finds out that the United States have this helium-3 machines on the moon collecting helium-3, and all of the world leaders wants their hands on it, so all the world leaders basically end up in a big brawl.
Yeah, exactly. And they start a nuclear war.
Yeah,
that's like the last scene we see.
Yeah, all the spaceships begin to fight each other in space over the helium-3.
I wonder if that's going to be like in the next movie.
It's likely, I say.
Because spoiler alert, the next movie time is going to be the follow-up to this one.
We haven't seen it yet, but we will after this.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about different parts of the movie from different angles. And to speak of angles, the camera work.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it, but it's fine. I have no problem.
I actually like the special effects are pretty good. Actually, it doesn't look that out of place.
No, let's talk about special effects. I was so positively surprised about the CGI effects.
Yeah, I thought
it's actually a really pretty movie.
It's a really pretty movie.
All the space stuff are really well made.
I mean,
it's pretty stylized, like this grayish thing, but it looks good.
I think it's easier. I'm not going to take anything from them, but I think it's easier when you try to keep it dark or gray or something like that. That it's easier not to see details.
Yes.
On the other hand, that suits the theme, so it's not
exactly. There is no reason for them not to. I mean, dark is space, and space is dark, and the moon is grey. I mean, or not grey, perhaps, but almost. But I gotta say that in the beginning, when they ascended down to the moon, it looks awesome. I think it looks pretty good. And the only problem I had was with the costumes when they went out of the spaceship, because it looked awful. I mean, in comparison to the CGI effects.
The actual astronaut suits looks weird.
Maybe they should have put like some sort of CGI effects on the costume itself to maybe give it some edges or something, because it only looks like a cheap costume.
Yeah, it looks like a cheap prop.
And I think it's bad because, you know, the
rest of it looks so good.
So if they only like managed to do that right too, it will look perfect.
I mean, even the Nazi costumes looks pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah, I have no problem with that at all.
But it's so weird that the Nazis have these really well done suits, and then these two stupid astronauts have these really cheap looking astronaut suits. I don't know. And of course, the black guy has a black astronaut suit for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and the white guy has a white suit.
It's so we can tell them apart.
Yeah. If USA wants to brag about sending a black guy to the moon, you have to be able to point out.
It's PR.
You need to identify him because let's put the black guy next to the flag.
I bet that the days also gave him like different code names, white and black.
Code black.
But other than that, I think it looks good. Especially the space fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the space fights are also pretty good. The ships, it seems like they spent like 90% of the money on CGI effects. And if you give the artists their appropriate time and money, I think they can do like an awesome job.
Because that's why there aren't really any big name actors in this movie, but I think the actors that they got do a really good job for the most part.
I am no actor I'm gonna complain about, so I think they all did really well.
No, the only thing is the black guy is pretty stereotypical, but I think that's the point.
I think that's in the script, so I don't think that's his fault.
But also I thought that in the beginning he was more cringe, but the more the movie involves, I think he gets better.
Yeah, you said he was better when he was an albino. So.
No, you said that.
No, you said that. You said that. He started to become better when he turned white.
No, I said that from the middle of the movie forward. I thought he was better
when he was white.
Yeah, he was white, but that's just a coincidence.
It's also kind of funny how he became white on the moon, then he got back to Earth, and apparently he doesn't notice on the whole trip there. He notices when they are in a van on Earth.
Yes, because he starts to talk with these like gangsters, black and Hispanic people, and he talks like he's black because of course.
And also he walks over there with a swastika on his arm.
Yeah,
come on.
But you know,
didn't you notice that either?
You can see how he takes one of his hands and tries to cover it.
Yeah, for 2 seconds. Yeah, but then when he comes close, he doesn't.
He starts like talking with his hands and all.
Yeah. Hey yo.
Yeah.
We have some fighting scenes too. Is anything you want to mention about them? I think the main ones are the space battles.
Well, the space battles are cool. The other ones are cringe.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
It's not. There aren't really that hand-to-hand combat. Not much at all. It's like between Klaus and Renata in the end and stuff. They don't have much of it.
No, it's not really much to say. I think the space battles also fall under the CGI because it's good work. It looks, I'm not gonna say realistic, but I mean it looks good.
Yeah.
And the way it moves through space, I mean it's fine.
And also it turns out that Nazis had this brilliant strategy that they take like asteroids and grab them with their spaceship, then they launch them down at Earth.
That is actually a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
If you want to do like super devastating damage, that's the thing to do.
That's the thing I thought was weird, because when they have this giant asteroid and they basically hit New York with it or whatever, no one reacts to that at all. No one even mentions it.
No,
you just see it and it looks like a nuke, and then no one mentions it.
Yeah, not even at the UN they're talking about New York disappearing from the map.
Yeah, I would think at least the American people would react to that, but nope.
People don't like New York.
No.
That's just a thing that...
Not even Americans?
No, exactly. New York is like... They started out with the World Trade Centers and... No, let's not go there.
I think you already did.
Yeah,
good job.
Nice going.
I think we should talk about what we think about the moon now and starting to rate it.
Yes.
Who wants to begin, Adam?
Yeah, sure. I really like this movie because I think it was really funny in some places, and it's really well made with effects and such. And I think it's funny that, as I said, it's like a parody of so many things, not only Nazis but also of like America and politics in general. So that's a pretty cool angle. So I'm gonna give this one 7 out of 10 because there were some moments that were a bit cringy and such.
Well, I kinda like this movie. Like Adam said, the special effects, nice. The acting overall, I'm really impressed. And they were bashing different things, like North Korea got a bashing, and then of course the Nazis.
And Finland.
Yeah, and America, and then it was not politically correct at all. And I like that also. I'm gonna give this 6 out of 10.
Yeah, and for me, when I was watching this movie, I thought after like 80% was done that this is going to be a hard movie to talk about or criticize, because I actually thought that this was good. I had no problem at all with the acting. It was only the black guy in the beginning. I thought that was a bit over the top. Otherwise, I thought it was good acting. I I like the costumes, mainly the Nazis, and I like the jokes, the parody of it all, and so I mean it's the best movie we've seen by far, I would say. So I don't want to give it a 10 because that's like putting the bar for all the movies, but I'm going to give it a 9.
Better than Alien vs. Ninjas.
Yes, better than Alien vs. Ninjas. It's better than A Different Way, actually.
Yeah. They're good in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is like good, but with a big budget as well. Because Alien vs. Ninja has
That's why
had a pretty crappy budget.
It's hard to compare, yeah. It's hard.
But it still was a good movie. So, but I agree with the black guy's acting in the beginning. It felt kind of cringe, but after that he developed, and everyone was doing a pretty good job. And as you said, the CGI was great. And I really liked that this wasn't politically correct at all, because you're supposed to be able to make fun of things without being sued or cancelled for everything. And I really like that. Now this movie is made in 2012 and the second one is made this year, 2019. So it will be interesting to see if it's still not politically correct
If
or
it
not.
has gotten me too'd.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like this movie, so I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
So it's good rates for this one. And do we recommend them to see it?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would too.
If you're not afraid of not things being politically
And
correct.
if you are all right with some exaggerated parodies of stuff, because that's what this movie is about, pretty much.
I mean, from the political correctness point of view, I mean, if you were a Nazi on the moon, you wouldn't be affected by any of this that's happened on Earth. So I think it's only fair for them to use like the word, the N-word.
Yeah.
I don't need to say it.
you know which word it is.
Yeah, exactly, nagger. No, so I think it's only logical that it's like this. So
Yeah.
it's over the top, but I think it's funny.
And they don't pull any punches. They go all the way.
They go all the way. They like release it and just go crazy with it. Okay, so with that said, let's see you the next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.